We are really just coming out of, or kind of starting, but last night we had the new moon in Gemini, and my astrologer friend's like, make sure you're writing. And I was like, oof, I already have. I started early. I did what some people call career suicide by talking about my awakening on LinkedIn. And it's because I no longer wanted to compartmentalize myself because it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I woke up this morning and I'm just like, let me just have my thoughts. First thing in the morning is easier for me just to write like stream of conscious, before your brain can really turn on and start bleh, whatever. And honestly, I don't really have that anymore, but I know a lot of people still do. And I was reading this post that Maggie Rogers wrote about like her claim to fame. And I remember that I watched the video that just blew her up. And it's so crazy because I was on Facebook and I never listened to anything with sound. Like everything's been on mute forever. This is before like people were doing captions. I had to like look at something and be like, unmute. But she talked about her artistry. She talked about her struggles. She talked about the being an artist is not a career, it's a vocation. And it made me think about my own artistry that I literally threw in the fucking garbage. Because realistically, music was my first love. It is my first love. I remember my strongest memory is hearing a song of classical music when I was a little girl. And somehow, some way, I didn't even know what classical music was, right? But some way, somehow, I ended up getting into classical music. I played the viola from elementary school into high school. And I threw it all away because I had to get a real job. And now, my quote-unquote real job is being a psychic medium. And I want to cry about it because I'm so upset. What I've been doing for well over 20 years is being a supply chain professional. It's very practical, it's very logical, it makes sense, right? I mean, even though supply chain is crazy, but I love the chaos in it. But it's like predictable chaos for me at this point. Like I can walk into a company and just see like where their blocks are, right? But here's the thing. I do the same thing psychically, which is trippy. And I fought that shit. Like, I was like, I'm having these experiences. I'm not crazy, but this shit is crazy. I didn't grow up psychic. I didn't grow up around people that are, into it or talk about it or anything like that at all. Like, that's all up and down taboo as fuck. And here I am in my very late 30s. Experiencing these things profoundly, not gentle. I do not glamorize going through an awakening. It is mind-bending and breaking. And some people, yes, they've always known that they were psychic. And some people, yes, they have like a little voice in their heads like, if you don't stop doing this, you're going to die. Not my experience. Not even close. And it's painful. I do not wish the type of awakening that I had on people at all. Dragged, kicking and screaming, in denial, and wanted to be in my version of Delulu. My version of Delulu. And we all are in our own version of Delulu. We're like, no, this is the normal, real world. And as someone old enough to have seen The Matrix in movies in high school, it resonated with me so much. And so the Matrix has always been part of me. And I was like, okay, get it. And as I've gotten older over the years, I'm like, okay, different layers, different levels. The Animatrix, which a lot of people don't know about, does a great job of explaining the background, the backstory of the Matrix, which I do highly suggest. But the reason that I'm saying all this and I'm sharing like this is because, ultimately we're told to just fit into this one category. You know, I had to realize, and I just realized this, that I broke apart my own reality. Like, I ended like my traditional career. And I don't even mean for tarot. Like, I did something else prior to. I went to high-end consulting, right? Tech sales. You know, of all companies, Oracle. I'm not even talking about the ridiculousness of me working at Oracle. I don't have a tech degree. I also ended my 5-year relationship just by moving. I mean, I didn't break up with the person, but like 2 weeks after I moved for the job during COVID, they broke up with me. I'm good. We should break up. Wait, what? We both go into 6 figures and you break up with me? What? That's not what people do. It's weird. Super grateful. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Next, right? And then on top of it, I faced one of my greatest fears, which was actively, intentionally making friendships, because you'd be shocked to know that I was definitely fucking shy. And when I moved here, professionally, yes, I have been working on this because, one, I have to talk, to eat, to make money, period. Okay, I'll do that. That's what I did for my career. But I didn't do it for anything else. I've had friends come to me. People come to me, make friendships with me. I've never intentionally in my life made a friend at 37 years old. So I chose to go out and do that intentionally. It was not fun. I do not suggest. So when I tell you that end of my career, you know, and then I went into a new career and that stuff stopped happening because I started that awakening. And then also facing my greatest fucking fears, period. I did all these things. I chose to disrupt my entire foundation. All at the same time. And from some of you might know it as the dark night of the soul, right? I feel like there's a lot of people that are awakening, and the terminology and the verbiage used to describe what in the actual fuck is happening is missing the mark, to say it nicely. Thank goodness for the fiction books I've had that kind of talk a little bit about psychic stuff, that talk a little bit about the unknown, that talk a little bit about the weird. And I didn't even read those books as a kid. I do not glamorize saying I'm a psychic medium because I was drag kicking and screaming. I did not want to. But I was having so many experiences, they were starting to affect my work. Like, literally close my eyes, I feel myself going up. Like, what the fuck? What? I can't close my eyes. I gotta stay like this all day. Hi. Like a blink and then something weird happens. My story is wild. Wild. Called my mom, just like, you're going down this fucking journey with me. I swear I'm not fucking crazy. And guess what? As clinical that she is about things, she was like, you're not crazy. And then I was getting more upset that none of my friends would call me fucking crazy. How dare you, friends? Thank you, friends. How dare you, friends? So I say this to say, if you find yourself questioning if you're crazy, if you're losing, if you're delulu, if you're losing your mind, but yet you're thinking logically, and what you're sensing, feeling, hearing, smelling, tasting, that doesn't make sense. It's not our 5 ordinary senses. The physical sense, these are extraordinary senses. Reach out to me. I love helping others because I know what it was like to be wandering and figuring this shit out all alone without clear answers. Speak in English. You got this. It's not too bad.